Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome back to another video podcast. This is Misa.
And this is Yuka.
And welcome to the
Misa Yuka podcast.
So, as you can see, my sister is like invisibly here, right, Yuka?
Yes, very invisible.
She's like in the other room. But since we have this microphone, we can still connect with her.
And I can hear her.
I can hear her. Okay. So, we are two sisters. We're Misa and Yuka, two sisters from Tokyo, and we have this podcast together. And every week we just talk about random things that we relate to each week, and we hope you relate to as well. Are you gonna hop off?
Yes, I'm gonna hop off.
Okay, so she's hopping off. See ya, Yuka.
Bye.
Bye. So I found a really cool article, like a set of articles from James Clear. And if you don't know Atomic Habits, it's a book by James Clear, and he talks about, he's like one of the most famous authors who wrote about habits, and he actually has a blog, and I didn't know about it. But I read this article called "The Top Life Regret of Dying Hospital Patients." And so this year, it has been kind of like an interesting year for me because I've had to face a lot of like deaths. Like a lot of people, like a lot of my friends around me, have kind of like passed away. Two friends, and then one like friend or like person I knew on the internet, and then also my grandmother. So like, just like with the person I know, like 4 people have passed away around me. And it has been kind of like a hard, not a hard year. Yeah, I guess it was a hard year. But also it made me realize that we are all going to, die like one day, and we have to be living life to the fullest. And this article really kind of like opened my eyes up again. And because so to start off, a lot of people say that I take a lot of bold actions. I have a lot of courage to do whatever I do, and I'm always like happy and stuff. But actually, I am a chronic, I say, like chronic people pleaser. I love to please people, and it's so hard for me to prioritize myself sometimes, that I don't prioritize my work or like whatever I need to do. And then I'm like prioritizing other things for other people, or other things that like may not be like too important, but I do anyways. And, or even with like, making like, creating things on the internet, like sometimes I do prioritize what other people might want to see or want to hear over like what I may want to create. Or, like sometimes I just feel like I'm not like true to myself. And I think maybe I'm not the only person like that. I feel like a lot of nice people like us, generous people, kind people like us, might have a hard time just kind of like being true to yourselves, I think. And I would like to kind of change that this year. And this article, I will like link it in the show notes or like the description below. But I'm going to be talking about like just like the main gist of what I read. It's an easy read, so maybe you guys can read it too. But one of the biggest quotes, it was like a quote that hurt me the most, was this: if you never draw a line in the sand and clarify what is really important to you, then you'll end up doing what's expected of you. When you don't have a clear purpose during driving you forward, you default to doing what other people approve of. We're not sure of what we really want, and so we do what we think other people want. So yeah, that kind of hurts me a lot. It's like pain in the ear because I'm this person who actually is so indecisive of what to do, like what I want to do. I think like so I'm the middle child. So I feel like I'm not like blaming my birth order or anything like that. But so like I feel like I've been like living a way where I'm kind of like, cautious of others or like or considerate of others or like maybe I'm not too confident in what I want to do. And so I kind of like I've been like kind of going with the flow. And I've always kind of attuned to what other people wanted of me. And then I was like doing it for them. And that's how I kind of grew up. I was like never like, oh, let's do, except for the content creation thing, except for dance as well. But other than all of that, like maybe like studies, like going to college and stuff, like I feel like I was more of, oh, let's do it. Like, let's do it because I've been asked and I was pretty good at it. But that creates a lot of conflict because I feel like because when you have that, you're kind of like not really clarifying what you really want. And this is where James Clear gets into this thing about the bullseye method. The bullseye is like the target. Have you seen like if you've seen like the darts game, the many circles, the bullseye is the very center of that. And he's saying that if you don't have a clear target, you're never gonna reach there. And I've been reading through a lot of different things about like, getting to your goals or like motivation or like successful people or personal development. And that's what everyone says. Like, you really need to have a clear goal, a clear target of where you're heading to. And for that, you need to have a big reason why you're doing whatever you're doing right now, like a reason. And I just like kind of go with the flow person, which is also great. But I also don't have like, I've never had like, let's do this because of this fear of failure. Because I'm like, oh, what if I don't get to that target? What if I don't get to that goal, right? But then James Clear goes on with this article. And so he says that like if you have a clear goal and if you are able to define that, you'll eventually really get to your goals. And there's nothing that can, there is nothing that can really keep you back from achieving your goals. And the conclusion of this article, actually, it was like kind of said in the beginning, but the conclusion of it is so after 12 years of this person being in bed and she was like dying in this hospital bed, she says, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. So yeah, that is like the whole underlying message that I want to relay to everyone listening. Because I think it's so important. I think it's so important to live a life true to yourselves. But I think we just get so like drowned into the everyday busy work that we have to face. And then we forget about our goals and boom, something might happen tomorrow and you might regret that you really haven't lived your life to the fullest. We have no time, well, like we do have time, but I think we should live life as if we don't have a tomorrow, right? That sounds really cheesy, but I really think so. And so now, this is like a personal thing. I'm trying to move within this Tokyo area or maybe a different prefecture. I'm not really sure. But I don't want to like halt back or I don't want to kind of put myself aback in this house hunting. I want to make sure that I don't regret where I live next or, like what kind of environment I put myself into or what kind of house I try to get. I don't want to kind of like sacrifice anything for anything because I have to live as if there is no tomorrow, right? that's not to say like, oh, splurge on luxurious things or, quit your job tomorrow. It's not like that. It's really having that understanding that we don't have, like, life is short and anything can happen to you tomorrow or today. So yeah, if you have anything that you related to, let me know. You can DM me or you can on Instagram, or you can also comment below. So I hope you guys are having a great day and a great life. And I'll see you guys in my next video.